Hello everybody, this is NCS, and welcome back to Let's Play Sengoku Gensoukyou. Last time, we conquered our first territory, the Night Blind Road, and today, we will do our best to conquer the Fatally Dark Path as well. Since we had an attack last action, we only have 3 more characters available. And because I want to be prepared in case of counterattack, I will not actually attack the Fatally Dark Path with the rest of my characters. And actually, you know what? Let's make it risky and develop something. Let's see, the Yokai army has yet another cutscene. Wriggle's Yokai army had lost one of their bases to Reima's group. The loss had the members of the army in an uproar. Hey! You were supposed to be so angry at them, yet they ended up winning so easily. What are we going to do now? Shut up! We haven't totally lost yet. You talk really big, but in the end you're so weak. It's not me who's weak, it's all those yokai friends you brought along that are the weak ones. How could you say that? So what? In the end, the yokai army was a hastily assembled mishmash, and a single obstacle was enough to send them into collapse. But they had not lost the game yet. Let's stop this. It's not over yet. We still have a chance. Then, like I said, what are we gonna do? No matter how long they tried to think, the situation remained the same. As the possibilities swirled in her mind, her eyes happened to catch a ball of darkness lazing around. Hey Rumia, you try to think of something too. She reached her hand towards the ball of darkness, and it slipped inside soundlessly. But there was still no reaction. Right at the moment, she had a flash of inspiration. Yeah, that's right. We can use that. Eh? What? Rumia, how far can you spread your darkness? If I try really hard, I can cover this whole area, I think. It makes me really tired, though. Okay, then can you use your darkness to cover this area and battle from now on? Eh? That'll be so tiring. You can take it though, right? If it's that wide, though, I can't make it all dark. It'll be about as dark as night without any moonlight. That's fine, we won't be able to see if it's too dark either. But that would be enough to throw off humans. Huh, you're using your head for once? That is what decides battles. Wriggle pointed towards her head, expecting praise for her smarts. Their plan was to use their superior senses to beat the humans was a relatively sound one. But just how well will it work? Well, seeing how well it worked last time when Mistia used her night blindness ability on Reima, probably not all that well. But we have a cutscene in the Forest of Magic. What will happen here? The Forest of Magic, a place where the sun did not shine, covered in darkness even at noon. And with the spores from monster mushrooms and miasma everywhere, it became a place which most humans and yokai avoided. However, the forest was an excellent environment for magicians, and there was nowhere that Marisaki-Risama would not live in. There was one other resident, the magician and doll master, Alice Margatroyd. Alice's mansion stood at one of the few places in the forest where the sunlight could get through somewhat. It was there that Alice and her handmade dolls were spending yet another fine day. Horai, could you bring a bit of that cloth to me? Yes, that light blue one. The doll called Horai trotted back with the cloth in her hand, just as Alice had ordered. The beautiful folded up cloth was quite big for a doll to carry, and Horai struggled to bring it over without wrinkling it. Thank you. Was it too big for you? I'm sorry. Shake, shake. Horai shook her head at Alice's apology. Perhaps he was trying to say that Alice did not need to apologize. Alice's residence was home to several of her handmade dolls that could move of their own will. Actually, that's not entirely true. In the official stories, it's more like Alice pretends that their dolls have an own will, but instead she is all manipulating the dolls with her powers. But in this game, it's mixed, sort of. They have sort of their own will, but they still have to be controlled. But more about that later in the story, I suppose. Among those dolls were two special ones who were practically alive and were given the cute names Shanghai and Horai. Also, really officially, it's more the case that Alice has named her dolls after from where they are. So she has multiple Shanghai dolls and multiple Horai dolls. However, in basically every fan story, Shanghai and Horai are individual dolls and not dolls of a series. Though rather than being given life, they perhaps should be called quasi-living beings. They took Alice's orders still, after all. Alice's dream of a fully autonomous doll was still far off in the distance. The ability to think and act based on one's own will. That day, Alice was once again working her way towards that goal of giving life to inorganic substances. Doing that will make it move at least, but a living doll. I wonder if it's really possible. She had aimed to create a doll which acted on its own will for a long time, but even now she wasn't able to make one as she liked. Turning dreams into reality would certainly take more than a human's lifetime. Flit flit. As thoughts of the unpredictable future were swirling around Alice's mind, a doll different from Horai suddenly flew towards her. What's wrong, Shanghai? What's the rush? The doll known as Shanghai was holding a ladder as big as she was. She placed it right in front of Alice. Patter patter. My, a letter? Who is it from? She looked all over the letter, but there was no sender marked. Alice suspiciously tore open the letter, removed the piece of stationery paper inside, and began to read. Let's see. Gensoukou's War Battle 1 participation information? Who's the author? Yukari Yakumo. So it's her. The things written within the form were extremely different from the one that Wriggle had received. We don't even know exactly what was written in Wriggle's letter, but what could be so different about it? That yokai must be really bored to think of such a trivial game. How silly. She continued scanning through the instructions. She got the gist of the contents, but had no plans to actually join in, and was about to throw the piece of paper away, until she read the last line. As if I had the time to join such a... Alice's eyes fell squarely on that one point. Her eyes soon started to burn with anger. What is the meaning of this? Why would she put this kind of rule there? Shanghai and Horai looked worriedly at their master, whose mood was worsening by the second. Actually, now I want to know what's written in there too. Alice eventually noticed their concern and put on a calm smile, which didn't look very genuine at all. Well, whatever. This feels like I'm being placed between a rock and a hard place. But if she's going to play like that, then I'll do the same. Alice then abruptly stopped talking and shut herself into her study, leaving Shanghai and Horai behind. The two poor dolls could only look at each other in surprise. Really, what was written in there? Anyway, because we had the auto heal on, all of our herd members have been automatically healed, but we don't have as much Oki as we could have had. But, well, I would have healed the characters anyway, so yeah, doesn't really matter really. So let's save again, because I do not want to go through all of that in case I accidentally get a game over. That shouldn't happen, but well, if Rema dies, it might happen. Okay, for this turn, actually I want to show something off I haven't talked about, so I'm gonna send Rema and Marisa into the battle. And actually, let's also use Humita. Okay. That should be alright. And we get another cutscene. Ooh, it's dark. I thought it was sunlight. Hey, Remo, don't you find this kind of weird? Just kinda? It's like nighttime now. And it was so bright just a little while ago. It ain't cause of the time. Look! Marisa took about 10 steps back, and her body was suddenly shining from the rays of the sun. Yet within 10 more steps forward, all traces of the sunlight disappeared. Right, they did say that they recruited some darkness manipulating yokai. Yeah, it's gotta be Rumia. This has to be her power at work. This'll be tough. Humans won't be able to see far in this darkness. Ranged attacks are going to be pretty badly affected. Which kinda sucks seeing how we have 2 ranged characters. But, it doesn't affect us that much. Melee combat ain't my forte, but it looks like I ain't gonna have a choice. At least these little tricks they're pulling is proof that we've driven them into a corner. Let's go and pressure them some more! Let's see who's gonna be in the battle. No one, according to the music. Well, no one. Oh. Okay, Rumi and Bistia do both not warrant a boss battle theme, okay. So, what I wanted to talk about, you might have seen in this battle meter here, your progress bar, you kinda might have noticed that we always started out with a disadvantage. We only having 40% and the enemy having 60% right now. Well, that is because, according to Yukari, which he would have said in the tutorial if I hadn't skipped it, the attacker will always start out with a disadvantage in the progress meter. Well, this is not quite true. There are 2 possibilities as of why. Well, first off, not the attacker will always start with a disadvantage, but the player. Well, ain't that nice? Yeah. I have no idea why either, because it's some sort of glitch, which would make sense by the fact that Yukari had said that the attacker is at a disadvantage and not you, Reba Hakare, are at a disadvantage. Or she was just pulling a leg and this is actually intended to be like that, which would be kind of, well, mean, to put it nicely. The other thing I wanted to talk about is regarding Marisa. You may have noticed this little symbol here next to Marisa's portrait. Well, that is yeah, okay, let's attack. Ah. Oh, when did you get that badly hurt, Rema? Oh god. This little upwards pointing arrow means, oh god, that Rema's dead. No, it doesn't mean that, but it indicates that Marisa has gained a boost for all of her stats, or at least one of them. If you send a character together with another character into the battle, for example, if you send Rema and Marisa into battle, Marisa will gain an affinity boost because, well, she likes Rema. And that is why she will usually deal more damage to enemies. This only works for official characters, unfortunately, so all the unofficial human characters we have in the beginning, they don't get any affinity bonuses. However, there aren't only affinity bonuses, but also, well, the opposite. You can also get a penalty in case, for example, well, I don't want to spoil who we can get, but well, you can also get penalties if you send the wrong characters into battle. Okay, the characters do not have any points anymore in their counter, so the only people who are able to attack from now on are, well, the characters from my group, or our group. Let's retreat because I don't want to have any damage, counter damage from Lufas, and we won the battle. Okay, 80%, good enough. What we have to hope now is that Reima doesn't leave the party, and she didn't. Whew! Lucky. Yeah, I don't know the exact percentage, or the chance of a character leaving the army if you actually, if they die in battle, but it is still a good idea to save every time you, before you start battle. Because, well, if Reima dies, it's instant game over. Or if she leaves, which only can happen if she dies. And it is kind of unpredictable when she might leave. So, yeah. Okay, with another battle out of the way, and a little foreshadowing of who will enter the game next, I'd say it's a good time to end this episode for today. So, this was NCS, and farewell for now.